Plenty questions.
Thank you so my first manager brought that to my attention. So he started telling me, and it was from a good place. He always wanted, he said, no, now that we've signed you, you can't be drinking pure water on the streets. Because we were just driving, and then I was 13. Now we had not, there was no money, but say, hey,
you have to package.
You're a rock star. You cannot be taking pure, all those things. I'm like, okay, so a lot of things,
Yeah.
But at some point, and it was early for me.
Right.
I said it was a lot of work to have dual personality. I just want to be real. Even with the music, I don't want to be all worship on stage, and then normally in my house there's no worship. Some people only kick in when the mic is in their hands. So I was like, no, this guy, it has to be real. This is not a performance, right?
Yeah.
I have to be real on stage and off stage. I have to be authentic. So I guess that's where all that comes from.
Yeah, but that doesn't account for the fact that you continue to be in the front. It will be like film.
You surprised me.
In any church, any concert, any ministration, if you shout, tun 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 tun, before we do, you go there, hail everybody, or you say, Imaram. Even if you got born again last year, you will know it. This is a thing.
It's God's grace.
Yeah.
You know that sometimes you look at yourself and you, like you now, see you now. Today, see how you be. There's something about you that's just special, right? Right. And it's not today. Even when you're small, you don't know, say, I see things differently. Like, I see what others are not seeing.
So true.
So it's grace. Even when I didn't even know about music, I just knew that I saw things differently. I could tell you what I was thinking at age 10, age 9. Right. What I was asking my parents, why this kind of hustle? Why, makes sense. Even though money no day, but must we suffer like this?
Why?
So I had a thinking, and it's just God that gives you those awareness. I think for some of us who just have visibility, grace. If you see what people they do,
to have the same
to be seen.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes. Some people lie. Yes. Some people backstab. Some people go diabolical. Yes. Some people do all sorts they just want to be seen. And then you're just that person that anything you just touch just gets visibility. Is the grace of God more, as I think about it now, right? Yeah. It's the grace of God more than anything, because some people get gift past me and you. I know somebody, man, and it scares me every time I think about it.
Right.
This guy is so smart, man. Right. Like, his IQ is crazy. Like, this guy, on the go, he can draft a business proposal, everything. He knows everything about everything. Yet, he's nowhere today. He has that confidence to believe in himself is not there.
It's not there.
He would rather just power something. Somebody will start something. He will just support. He doesn't have the confidence to do his own thing till date. Yes. But look at me now with 5 stones and a sling and all the faith in the world. I don't know too much. Even for the rock self where I start, I don't even know. I know they play anything, but I believe, say, as I be this thing.
Yes.
That's
it. It's amazing because I was also thinking about it as you were talking. There's all this whole drama now about no turning back. Say, if they face fire, if they face heaven.
Try.
And it's people. And when you started questioning the norm.
No. As in. No, man, I'll let you finish your question.
No, but I want to hear what you want to say. I want to hear what you have to say.
I look at it and I'm like, these people, they don't even know when we don't do this thing. Yes. Some of the youngins now, when they come with somewhat bravado, I just they look them say, this thing where they say you did. Since we don't they run out.
Yes.
I did my first video. I said, no, I'm not gonna do praise and worship, singing behind the flower. That was the norm at the time. And I said, no, it's got to be better than this. So and we're not going to do whitey rock because we know white.
It's so true.
So I said, let's have our lingua a bit, sprinkle it a bit on the rock. So I came up with Afro rock.
Yes.
And then I was very intentional. So I had Franco Shodi. I don't know. My manager at that time got me Franco Shodi. I said I wanted jean, denim with some African
For those who
prints.
don't know, Franco Shodi was one of the biggest designers in the country, quoted
My-
by Barry Darego from Miss World.
So I got the talk. So you got all the things say.
Yes.
Can you imagine how young I was? But I was
For thinking.
I was seeing. I said I wanted the denim stuff made, but with some African print. Nobody was doing those things
Yes,
at
that
that
fusion.
time. So if you saw my images, I wish I had pictures of them. You would see those cuts and those things. I wanted to just fuse both worlds, and thank God it worked out.
Yes, yes. Did you get any resistance from the church then?
Oh yeah. I mean, one of them, and some of these things from churches say it's so silly that you almost like lose it. So some people were speaking to me. This was some years down.
Right.
To be in their convention, they were all talking with my man. They were talking. Everything was in full gear, and everything. And the next thing, they now saw my artwork for the Victory album.
Right.
So I was wearing a denim, like a shredded denim jean.
Yes.
And it's not like my skin was exposed. You know how
Yes,
some
just
of
white, the white.
Yeah,
thread
he has.
behind that.
Yeah. And the guy got back to me. He was so distraught. He was like, "We're so sorry. The church committee say we can't have Iben. This kind of jeans he's wearing. How can a Christian be wearing jeans like this? It's not good. It's not." And it was.
Yes, it was preaching.
I was like, really? Seriously? So a door has been shut just because of Jean.
Yes.
And then I went to a church. Got my hair now.
Right.
I got into the church and I saw this disapproval in the faces of the heads of pastors. They were not happy. In fact, they now got me aside. Say, please, you need to comb this hair so that, because you're already here. And the pastor said you must not climb up.
You comb this your hair properly.
Jesus.
So,
And so
yes.
I put that thing in. I see what with the suffer. So I comb my hair. The hair can be like afro, can be one kind. But you
Yes.
just gotta do it.
Just do it because of humility.
Yes.
Just,
Our looks like this now intentional because Jude, let me tell you this secret people don't know. Do you know that I discovered that as a young fellowship leader or something, all the girls around me, they were good in my eyes. Until I started hearing scandal. This one slept with this guy, with the drummer. This one. But when they came to me,
Yes.
they behave very pious.
Yes,
So when I hear those things, I say, so this guy can do this kind of thing. But they always pretended around me because I had this look of pastor. So they know they're real with me.
yes. Yes.
So the Holy Ghost told me, you want to reach these young people, you gotta tone down. You can't every day speak. So I said, okay, because it beats me when I know these people know. You know what I'm saying? That means they are two-faced with me.
you,
They are like this because of how I be.
Yes.
That they come like that.
Yes.
But they do things. So I said, okay. So I started now. Just to diffuse, just enter, I just begin to tone down something. Now, when we begin to talk, you go to just, are you a pastor? Are you you see? So that's the revelation behind some of these things. And it's the wisdom God gave me to just look a certain way so that you can just get the message across. Don't be like a hindrance to the message.
I love that.
When we realize that God is big on influencing, we will rethink our theology. I see some people there with megaphone in a hot sun at the bus stop, busy bus stop. People are trying to get into vehicle. You are just shouting, repent, give us. Now this guy is doing this thing in his mind. Oh, I'm suffering for the Lord. How effective is this ministry you are doing? Is it effective?
Yes.
They're not thinking. They just feel like because they're doing this thing in the name of God, the failure is welcome. No. You want to think like God's dream, if the church knows, is to influence the world with the culture of heaven. He said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that's why we are ambassadors. We are supposed to be bringing values from that side and putting it into all the different sectors of this world till we culture it. So that the principles that this system run is the principle of heaven. It's God's dream. But we now lock ourselves in the church, speak Christianese, talk to ourselves, preach to ourselves, engage ourselves without really thinking, how do I get into this room? Until recently, we were shut out of politics as a church. Because we would just be praying. But right now, people are beginning to see. Boy, it breaks my heart that many of God's children don't realize that God wants to culture this world. And one of the major tools, is arts and sound. Of course. Yeah, so we need to be thinking, impact, influence. How many people are we influencing with this thing we are doing? Because God is counting on us to influence this world. So I'm not saying that people should now be copying secular music, but no, you can be so good that you become the standard. Back in the day, man, today they used to invite me for secular events. So. Right. People go, they carry beer like this. Imara! I performed in club nobody say paid though. Yes, I love it. They didn't see me. Most of these secular guys, they know me. Right. And that's, to me, that's like, oh, Father, thank you. Yes. That's the relevance. That's what God wants us to be like. Not just to be locked up in the walls of, you are the light of the world, not the light of the church. So that's where all this thing is coming. And it beats me when God's people don't know when we are winning. Sorry, second time. Word. It's so sad. We don't know when we are winning. Yes. In fact, we start fighting. Let's go back inside. It's so sad. It's so sad. You talked about your elder brother more than once. So obviously he was a big influence on you, even though you strategically deviated. He was a big influence on you. What happened to him? Say he got in a fight, and I mean, he was not particularly a calm guy. Right. I guess that now, in retrospect, I see why the devil was fighting him. He was so gifted. This guy could. He was so smart. He was so bored. That only that cool-headedness, no conde. You know how somebody can be. So he got in a fight and got stabbed in the jugular. Oof. And we had a discussion 2 days prior. Because I'm like, this thing is happening. This your rap game. Because MI them and the rest, they talk rap. Before MI them come out, they need to know, say, somebody's having this thing. I was like, man. He said, okay, now, book the session. I go. Wow. So I was like, okay. So you had finally convinced him? I convinced him. 2 days before. I said, I'm going to book the sessions. Let's do this. Let's start. Let me even, this my, I'm not be saying immediate senior. He senior me well out. Right. 3 days later, man, I got a call. Wow. Got in a fight. He's dead. You need to come. Wow. I'm like, what? Oh my God. It was so sad, but, it was so sad. So sad to think that with all that, the devil really did him dirty, It was so sad. So sad. One of my biggest influence, aside family, was the church, and I thank God for the church in my life. I saw someone talk against the church. Yeah, I know the church has its challenges and all, but the good outweighs the bad. You know, you learn about purpose. For many of us, that was the only place we saw direction, order, love, you know, every other thing that you begin to now explore and develop into. Even for me, it was there I discovered, oh, I can sing, oh, I can affect people with my singing. You know, so the church was really
one of the major influences.
Major. It still is, though.
Yeah, of course, of
Still
course.
is.
Okay. How did you stumble into the church?
So I was born in church, too.
Okay.
But was not born again.
Okay.
You know how you said, you know?
Yes.
That kind of
Yes. You did do morning devotion.
Yes, we did do.
You never did devoted.
No. So you do all that and you almost like, this thing is pretty random. Until you meet a set of believers that is different from where you're coming from. So, and it begins to make sense that, oh my. So it was in school. The guy who preached to me, they just relocated from America.
Okay.
So just for the fact that his accent was so sweet, I decided to listen. And I wanted the guy to be my friend.
I love it, yes.
I say,
Yes.
So this guy now, so make I just say I'm born again now. Me and this guy go, I go fit go their house, go make
Yes.
you know, amazing what God can do.
Yes.
And that was it.
Right.
So he introduced me to the other guys who were in my same school with me.
What school was this?
This was my secondary school.
Yes.
And these guys, we now street boys, break time. I don't know about you, you look like a fico, but we love play. Break time was like, oh my God, get wild. But these guys, they would just have themselves in one corner in the class and just be sharing what they got from their morning devotion, what the Holy Ghost told them. What I'm like, I say, man, this is different. That's why we must shine the light. You never know. You know, so these guys would always talk about what they, you know, how the Holy Ghost gave them a song, and then I'm like, hey, Holy Ghost. Yeah, I know they hear anything. You know, but it became a thing. Because if I had to be friends with them,
yes, you had to keep hearing these things.
I have to keep hearing and I have to participate. Right. So the first few times when I began, I didn't have nothing to say. I just, cause I know hear Holy Ghost, I know pray, I know study, I know do anything. So I just, then I said, okay, Holy Ghost, you talk to me. I started reading, so I started contributing little by little. This is what the Holy Spirit told me. And those guys, they just opened me up to that world of worship music because they will sing, they will even write their own songs. I'm like, And I started singing. I didn't even know what tenor and all those stuff. But they will sing in parts. They will ad-lib. I'm like, what is this? But over time, my ears began to open. And then we got to their church and whoa. The pastor was just on fire. Right. Church now made sense. You know, I felt God, right? To the point where when I got home, my mom saw that I had changed. Because I used to be the life of the disruption in the neighborhood. I was that boy that everywhere there's problem.
Right.
All of a sudden, I'll just call my mom and say, Mama, I want to share what we learned. I say, She will sit up.
Be like,
are you for real? She goes, I'll just try my best.
Yeah.
She started seeing that this guy has changed.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, Mom, from today, you don't have problem with me and other kids in the neighborhood. She said, I said, and that was, conviction.
Yes.
It's not about what your parents forced you to do. You got to a point where you now started experiencing God. And then I changed totally. My devotion, my mom saw, wow. And then, oh my God. Next thing, I became like the pastor of the family. Wow. If they wanted to do anything, they wait for me to preside, to, what the wisdom of God can do when we open ourselves up. So it's a blessing that I thank God for everyone who yielded to God and created that place where I could find myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so I'm trusting God going forward beyond my music that I can create platforms and experiences for people to find themselves in God, like I did with my father and
It was something you posted this week, I think, or a few days ago, that this Jesus saved me, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life talking about
my
it.
God, my God, my God. If you know the depth of that, you know, I always wondered, what would my life have been like? Yeah, thank God for the fame, the money and all that, but the fact that, you know, say, you go even get money, you go get everything, but you still be empty.
Yeah.
That I can be by myself and not be lonely. Oh my God. I have a picture of mine many years ago that when they showed it to me, I didn't believe it was me. It was me all right, but I had skin cut.
Right.
My head was big, my neck was thin. But the only thing I used to know that it was me was the smile. I see that smile has been there through the pain, through the everything. I've always carried this smile, and it comes from the Lord. It's the joy of the Lord.
It's the joy of the Lord.
It's my strength.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, my brother. Such a pleasure. I've been looking towards this for a long time. The person that confirmed you got a bonus. It's a pleasure. My love to the family. God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
We are local.
International communities observing just finished the Where the main market is in chaos. People
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken the bill by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Abuja have a master plan, and which everything they are doing is according to the master plan. So people fall victim because they don't want to obey. They do things in their own way. That's why they are victims. Even when they are looking for houses, they see swampy areas, they see gullies, they see places that in future or in case of any natural disaster, they could be, involved. But they will bluntly go there, trying maybe their faith. At times their faith will fail them. That's why at times they fall victims, and they blame it on government. The government on their own part, they are not even careful of their citizenry. They don't want to, care about.
Yes, in most cases, people are warned. Yeah, because before anybody will build in anywhere, I think they have to be a satisfied paper from the local government or whoever that is involved. But in most cases, people still go ahead to build. And once that is done, there's nothing government can do about it.
Before you start any building, you will first of all involve an engineer, an architect. So your architect will be the one to advise you on the kind of building you have to build before you start building. There are some places where you cannot start building an upstairs, because it will definitely sink, or it will definitely fall. And there are some kind of places where your architect will advise you, okay, this is the kind of building you have to build here to avoid flood. And if that environment is a flood-prone area, your architect will advise you to hold on, or he will advise you not to build at that particular area. He can either advise you to start farming, or he can advise you to do some other things.
Government are always warning people about the flooding. So, like people are managing where they can build. So you will see people building anyhow, blocking the gutter and the their waste bin, they will be blocking they will be throwing it so that if rainfall can carry the dirty. So you see, such a thing that is the one that is blocking the waterways. So that is what is causing the flood. The government is not active enough, because if at all is active, we will not be having this reoccurrence of flood, displacing people, where they are staying. I think it's not active. It's not, though the government are trying their best, because the idea of giving relief materials every year, it's my own opinion anyway, I don't think it's a good idea. We should learn to, bring an lasting solution to every problem.
In this country, we're supposed to work like, let me say, like 50-50. We are not supposed to depend only on government. We can't cross our leg and be waiting to government to come and do everything for us. Even you and I, we're supposed to join hands together and fix up some things by ourselves.
Before any flood happens, understand, it starts from somewhere, understand. And I think there should be a system whereby, okay, if something is about to happen, there should be a warning. You understand? Okay, this thing is about to happen, and I think flood is coming. So can we please evacuate this location before the flood gets to this place? If they can get a system like that, I think it will go a long way.
There's no enough sanitization. They do not tell these people, because they have to do it in English, in Yoruba, in Hausa, the local language, to educate all these people. And they have to pass through the tradition channel so that they educate all these people. So therefore, with that, the transition institution is more closer to people, that they can educate all these people. But they are doing the jingle over the radio and television. How many of these people are watching? So that is one. Two, the local government. They have to go down to the local government. The local government are the most closest people to those people, that they are going to educate them. The government has tried, but it's true. The advertisement has to be more. People have to be aware about the flood, the prone area where there's flood.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.
You don't tire for this picture. Oh yeah, make you follow Unorodo. Nigeria don't go digital with free TV. Over 100 channels they with you. Sport, news, and better entertainment for your own language. No matter where you dey, whether for city or whether for village, the satellite signal they reach every corner of Nigeria from day one. No monthly payment again. Once you get Ogbonge free to air decoder, you don't win. This one now our own national asset. Even from your phone, you feel watch out. Just download the free TV app and carry your TV go anywhere you dey go. Scan that code now or call 0700-388-7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by MBC.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem. There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Hello friends, how are you and yours doing today? I trust all is well and that your life is more lovely than ever.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day. We at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
Why is overrated, and they even overrated themselves, and when people see it, they are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change the narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Here an address by His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Madame la Présidente de l'Assemblée.
President of the General Assembly, Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, heads of state and government, ministers, ambassadors and delegates. I am delighted to once again stand before you to issue an address at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. 8 decades ago, we wanted to serve peace, development, human rights, and we've been doing that for 80 years. After that 80 years, we now have to take stock of our progress and ensure that we keep pace with today's world. In 1945, March, we adopted the Charter of the United Nations following 2 world wars. At that time, war was still raging in Asia. Decolonization had scarcely begun. The Soviet Union was extending its empire, and we counted deaths in the millions, and we unveiled the horror of the Shoah. Yes, at that stage of the world wasn't yet complete, but at the same time, nevertheless, we were, through resolutions and with resolve, building our desire to spare succeeding generations from the scourge of war, and we declared our faith in the fundamental rights of mankind, and we made a commitment to create the conditions for justice, to foster social progress, to practice tolerance, and to live side by side in peace. We were not dreaming, and we invoked our past to help us. And after 80 years, I want to say before you that we were right to dream. We had the right to dream. Our world today deserves the same resolve we had then in terms of working together. 51 of us were at San Francisco, and now 193 of us are gathered here in the General Assembly. The text that created this organisation enshrined the principle of collective action and enshrined common values. It defined robust processes. And I know, nevertheless, how great frustration is. We see that states are unequally represented, particularly on the Security Council, and that fuels frustration. And that's why I unequivocally support its expansion, the reform of the Security Council, particularly its expansion for the African continent. I also know the extent to which political and social balances and states of place have changed and different actors have taken on more responsibilities. Many people are asking about whether the United Nations promises have been upheld, whether it's in sync with reality, and whether it brings with it any benefits. Let us not kid ourselves. This 80th anniversary is not a fact that we can just accept. Conflicts, international, national, state conflicts are proliferating. The criminal and terrorist activity is proliferating, and people are deliberately trampling on the Geneva Conventions as if war was just about terror, revenge and victory. Haiti, Burma, Ukraine, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The list is as long as it is unconscionable. There are more and more cases of violence being weathered by people whose nations are at war. Major transformation is also underway for us all across the globe. Climate change is not under control. Biodiversity is collapsing. Efforts that the majority of us are ready to make are coming up against the obstacles of the cynicism of a few that can make a difference but refuse to do just that still. And we see the technology picking up pace. They pave the way to horizons of opportunity, but they also pave the way for dangerous forces because they're not regulated. Global trade is weathering tariff wars, and that's another form of imbalance, globally speaking. Alarm bells are ringing out loud, but that doesn't extinguish hope. Our divisions do not mean a lack of hope did not mean Syria wasn't able to free itself from war. Ukraine is staying the course, and peace is possible in the Great Lake regions. We've also adopted treaties, ambitious agreements that some people thought were impossible. A treaty on pandemics, a treaty to protect the high seas, another to finance development. The world's complexity is not a reason to throw in the towel on our principles and our ambitions. To a certain extent, ours is a moment of paradox. We need, more than ever before, to restore the spirit of cooperation that prevailed 80 years ago. And however, in spite of that, we're isolating ourselves. There's more and more divisions, and that's plagued the global order. The world is breaking down, and that's halting our collective capacity to resolve the major conflicts of our time and stopping us from addressing global challenges. France is proud to be among the people of the United Nations and pay tribute to all the people that serve them, soldiers wearing blue helmets that maintain peace where no one else wants to go, humanitarian personnel and healthcare workers that come to the aid of the most vulnerable, legal specialists, observers, rapporteurs that bear witness to the reality, ensure that the rule of law can prevail, that arbitrary whims do not rule the day. I'm talking, of course, about our NGOs, our nurses, our journalists, and many other people who bear witness to the fact that this organisation cannot be replaced. It is for this reason that those that are its harshest critics are also those that want to change the rule of the game, because they want to exert domination. And these are people that do not want the common good to prevail. They want to serve their interests, and that is the major risk of our time. The risk of seeing the facts as they are just become the ongoing state of play. We don't want to see might is right prevail, but that's the risk. We don't want to see the selfishness of some people win the day. That's the risk. The risk is that some people, an elite, will decide the course that the world will run, and that they will forget that there's an international community. There needs to be respectful relations between peers. There needs to be cooperation between peers. That alone makes peace possible. That alone makes it possible to address climate.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem. There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day. We at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
WAEC is overrated, and they even overrated themselves and went into CBT. They are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change the narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning weekdays and Signature New Day weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder. So,
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem. There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
What an exciting Saturday morning. Welcome to Signature Television. My name is Christopher Lele and this is New Day. We'll take a look at some of the stories making the rounds on the national dailies. We also have topical conversations, to discuss and learn one or two. Be informed on what's happening in Nigeria. Welcome once again. Welcome. We will go for a short break. We'll come back and start off with the newspaper review. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. We'll go straight to the newspaper review. Let's take a look at what is happening there. And on my paper this morning, the first paper we shall be looking at is the Saturday Sun, where we have a couple of trending stories going on that very paper. The first story here, the major headline here says, terrorists strike in Oyo, Borodo. Rider says bandits invade 3 schools, kill teacher, Okada rider, abduct pupils, vice principal. Boko Haram kidnaps dozens of students in Borno. Military rescues 6 abducted women, children in Northeast. All right, still on the Saturday Sun. Alleged 36 million naira fraud. EFCC arraigns Blessing CEO in Lagos. Lecturers told me medicine was not for someone like me. Hani, disabled consultant, histopathologist, speaking there. The writer here says, I faced pure hell in medical schools, but today I fulfilled my dreams. All right, and this other story here says, I nearly quit Nollywood after joining at 17. Uche Jumbo, speaking there. Now let's take a look at the Saturday Vanguard. On the Saturday Vanguard, APC tickets, governors, aspirants at war over alleged imposition. Then the writer here says, state executives insist on consensus, aspirants demand direct primaries. Another story here, another headline says, I will not step down for Atiku, Amechi, anyone, Hayatuddin, speaking there. You can find that on page 21 of the Saturday Vanguard. Still on the Saturday Vanguard, 2027 presidency, NDC's one-term zoning to South sparks praise, knock. Then the writer here says, arrangement a masterstroke. Okoria speaking there. Atiku's entry may threaten Obi's chances. Oshotokun also sharing his thoughts on that. Then this other one says, how southern fragmentation may favor the north. Indeed. All right, and still on this paper, Dangote Petroleum Refinery sues federal government over fuel import license to 6 companies. Drama in Kwara market as rustled cows identified true earners expose suspected bandit. I like that very story. I'm going to take it again. Drama in Kwara market as rustled cows identified true earners. Expose suspected bandit. You can find that on page 22 of the Vanguard newspaper. It sounds like a miracle. Looks like God is working. All right, so let's take a look at the Saturday Tribune. On the Saturday Tribune, no regret over subsidy removal. Single foreign exchange market. That's Tinubu speaking there. Writer says, insists reform painful but necessary. All right, 2026 Hajj. Nigeria records 4 deaths. A very sad one. The major story here says, gunmen storm schools, abduct many students in Borno, Oyo. You can find that on page 3 of the Saturday Tribune. And also 3 horse race will defeat Tinubu, ADC boasts. Says it will still work with Obi Kwankwaso. You can find all of these on pages 8 and 25 to get more of this. Article demands El-Rufai's release before Edekabai. All right, don't stake your children's school fees on nomination forms. Uzodinma warns politicians. Okay, Tambawa's former deputy Dania emerges ADC governorship flag bearer in Sokoto. And last story here says, I have nowhere to go. He married me at 14 years old. Now he wants divorce 30 years after. All right, so that's it on the Saturday Tribune newspaper. Let's take a look at Saturday Independent newspaper. UNICEF wants enhanced investment in child nutrition fund to support procurement of MMS. Police confirm abduction of principal students in Oyo community. Launch manhunt. That's a very, very sad story there. Oshun 2026. Between Adeleke's street popularity and Ambo's federal backing, Ele by a family cries and the debate over broken homes. Okay. Nigeria's inflation ticks up to 15.69% in April. Yearly trend shows sharp relief. And then the other story here says, how rustled cows expose suspected bandit at Kwara Livestock Market. Right, you can find this on the Saturday Independent newspaper. Now we take a look at the Saturday Punch newspaper. On the Saturday Punch newspaper, the major story here says, terrorists strike 3 Oyo schools. How gunmen killed assistant headmaster, motorcyclist, abducted teachers, pupils. Oyo shot school, take 2. I take that again, please, excuse me. Oyo shot schools in 4 local governments. Security agencies hunt kidnappers. Many Borno pupils captured. Lawmaker fumes. Oh, sad one. Hospital raid. EFCC bows after backlash over rights abuse. I studied for 8 hours daily to score 372 UTME. Candidate Owoye speaking there. Kidnappers killed 18 victims during my 9 months in captivity. This man speaking there. That is so sad. 18 in 9 months. And that's the one that there's someone to talk about. How about the ones people have no idea about? Influencer Blessing CEO remanded over 36 million naira fraud. Okay. And finally, 5 police inspectors kicked out for armed robbery. I take that again. 5 police inspectors kicked out for armed robbery. 5 police inspectors kicked out for armed robbery. This is so sad. You're supposed to protect. You're ending up. It's so sad. Now we have the This Day newspaper. On the This Day newspaper, soaring food, energy costs push inflation to 15.69%. Let's take a look at the headlines here. The riders, severe in Sokoto, Bauchi, Zamfara, others. To boost confidence, transparency, Cardoso unveils revised forex exchange manual, FX manual. And policy takes effect June 1, warns operators against misconduct. Many pupils missing as terrorists, gunmen invade Borno, Oyo schools. Right? Labour Party, NDC, ADC, PDP factions hold primaries. The rider says APC shifts House of Reps primaries amid challenges. Party disqualifies 4 Fubara's loyalists in Rivers. Don't stake your children's school fees on primaries, Uzodinma tells aspirants. Still on the This Day newspaper, Tinubu to Nigerians, re-elect me for more work reforms in first 2 years. Okay, and then the writer here says S&P raises Nigeria's rating for first time in 14 years. President insists fuel subsidy removal, tax reforms, painful steps to stabilize economy. Hails Dangote, urges protection for bold African investors. Arrives Lagos. All right, so that's just about it on the newspaper review this morning. Stay with us as we have a conversation based on popular demand coming up on your screen shortly. Don't go away.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Hello, it's really nice to know you're still with us. We're sorry for that little time. We're trying to sort out some technical challenge. All right, so we'll go straight to the conversation this morning. We'll be looking at managing autism spectrum disorder children in Nigeria. And we have our guest already seated in the studio that will be doing justice to this conversation. She is Christabel Ifokwe. She is the Executive Director of Soin Jet Foundation. And she'll be helping us to understand the autism children, what we need to know about them, the challenges, not just them, but the family, the parents face, and how we as a society, can embrace and, be part of their journey. All right, Christabel, good morning and welcome to New Day.
Good morning and thank you for having me. Today we are going to be talking about something that has been a burden to a lot of Nigerian families. A lot of individuals are going through it. It's not just the families alone, the community as well. So we are here to create an awareness about autism spectrum disorder and how it affects the Nigerian community. So
let's look at for those that may not really understand, autism, what it really is it about, to the layman, if you were to explain it to the layman, how would you explain autism?
Okay, so autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, right, where it affects communication, it affects the social interaction, it affects their behavior. It also affects interactions like their sensory integration. That's how they feel, how they. So basically, it's just us having difference in the way we process information, right? So how do we take in information? How do we process that information? So take, for example, somebody is sensitive to light, another person has difficulty communicating their needs. They also have difficulty expressing themselves. So a child that is on the spectrum may not be able to say mommy, daddy, may not be able to request for items. Now, autism is a spectrum, right? So we have this, everybody's unique, just as how individuals are unique. We have our own different characteristics. That's the same way autism is on a spectrum. So it just defines that uniqueness, how everybody may have different combinations. But for us to say someone is on the autism spectrum, the person has to show signs in that communication deficit, in socialization, in behaviors, repetitive behaviors, and that's when you can say, okay, this person is on the autism spectrum. So a lot of people would ask, okay, so is it something that is caused by something? Is it?
That's what I wanted to. That's the next question I wanted to ask you. Funnily enough,
yeah.
What could have possibly been the cause of this?
Okay, so it's not something that is caused by something. It is a genetic condition, and that's why we say neurodevelopmental. Developmental difference, right? So in your genetics, you have the way you are made up. Now, it might be heightened or it might not be. So your genetics and your environment shapes the way you might be described as being on the autism spectrum. So it is not, I know, again, when we say genetics now, it now becomes maybe a parent passed it down or something. There's still a lot of science, and there's still lots of research that is going on to actually identify the particular gene or the particular reason why it's happening. But then there's also the environmental factor that might trigger the presentation of this gene. So that's why it's different. So sometimes you see it in parents, or sometimes you don't see it in the parents, you see it in the children, and after the children you don't see it again until, so it's more like a dominant gene that is now expressed by the environment. So that's what really causes it.
All right, so thanks for that foundation you just laid there. Now let's look at it from the angle of the parents. In as much as we love, kids or people with this disorder, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't think it's what many parents would wish to encounter because of the challenges, that it surrounds. What would you say are the major challenges that parents, of children with autism spectrum encounter? Okay, so majorly, first thing first, it's usually the fact that your child may or may not communicate with you. That is the major challenge, because you give birth to a child, your bundle of joy, and then you are excited to have that child communicate, grow, be part of the society. Now, autism is not a disease whereby you say my child is dysfunctional, or it's your child just expressing or communicating differently. So yes, they might have that as a challenge, being unable to communicate with their children, being unable to have, or the children have certain behaviors that are worrisome. But then there's also the part of inclusion, where you want to include the individuals in the society, right? There's also that segregation. A lot of parents have that fear of bringing out their children and then having to make them being acceptable by the society, right? Because take, for example, you have a 3-year-old who cannot say good morning, hello, hi, and then the child is now in the society, and then you say, hey, Beauty, what's your name? And the child is not responding, right? The parents have that difficulty to say, oh, maybe there's something wrong with my child, right? There's also the part of when, also in inclusion, schools having to include these children in school activity because they feel like they are different.
they usually have this separation or segregation. Okay, you cannot communicate, so you are not learning, and then you are separated. So a lot of that happens. Then there's also the myths and the lies, where parents feel like it's their fault, bad parenting, or they have difficulties like it's spiritual or something, we're in Africa and all. So it makes them, those are the challenges that they usually face. And then the behaviors too. Some children on the spectrum communicate their selves or through behaviors, and these behaviors show up in different ways. Some could be aggression, some could be self-harm, and it makes the parents wonder, is something actually wrong with my child? But that's just the way the child is communicating certain displeasure or feeling or a need. So that's what happens. So those are the challenges that parents face when it comes to autism. Also, the fact that when they now get interventions too can be very expensive, and the resources to actually pay for these interventions or to pay for support for a child that is difficult, it's usually also a challenge that Nigerian parents go through.
Okay, so let's talk about the awareness.
Okay.
How aware is the Nigerian society, regarding this autism
spectrum disorder?
How
yes.
aware are Nigerians regarding this, and also what effect would early, awareness, help in diagnosis?
Okay, so when it comes to awareness, right, we are getting there. Nigeria is a very big country. We are getting there. There are a lot of programs. There are a lot of activities that is creating that awareness. A lot of schools, and I can say for a fact, in being in ENUGU, that a lot of schools are getting aware of autism and how to work with these children, how to include them in their society, how to also participate. A lot of programs. I can tell you for a fact that we've run a lot of programs in ENUGU here to actually create awareness. So yes, there are a lot in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, many places, even in in the north. I know a lot of organizations that actually create awareness about autism.
So let's look at the challenges, children with autism face. How are we as citizens, society, supposed to react, to approach them?
Okay.
Because it's one thing to have this kind of challenge, it's another thing to still go through the stigma and that reaction from people.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to treat them? How are we supposed to behave?
Okay, so from the society, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to interact with an autistic individual because first of all, it's not something that is physical. You might be sitting, I might be autistic and you might not even know. I'm not saying I am, I'm just saying that they are like every other individual. So approaching them is not something that you should think twice about, because they are just like every other. They are persons, they are people first before they have autism, right? So, but as a community, you can always be nice. If you don't have anything to provide or to say to a child who has a disability, you can always be kind, right? So you can see them, you can talk to them just like every other child. They do not have learning disability where you say they do not understand. They understand. They might not just be processing the information the way you would want it. So take, for example, you say hi to a child on the spectrum, and then the child might be singing, hello, how are you, right? That is the child's own way of saying that I'm saying hello to you. So it's just the understanding that, okay, this child uses music to communicate my needs. Another child could just be writing it out. Another child could just be repeatedly vocalizing it and saying hello, 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 or echoing after you, hello, hello, hello. And that is the child's own way of communicating. So there is no one way to approach them and say, okay, this is how to manage the situation. Just be nice to them. Just treat them like you would treat every other child. Work with them, include them in school activities, include them in churches. You could be more aware. For example, some children have sensitivity when it comes to sound, and then you observe the child covering their ears. So when you see that, you can be very sensitive about what your microphone sounds like. That might make that child uncomfortable. Another person could, another place could be maybe not just noise alone. Like I said, it's a spectrum, so there are so many things. Everybody's needs are different. So it's just to understand that, okay, we know about autism. We are including you in whatever society that you find yourself, even inclusive of employment. Autistic individuals are employable. They are very smart. Most times they even have more, would I say, more knowledge about certain topics than we do. So because they are very repetitive and what's the word, insistent on a particular topic, so they have this focus on a particular interest, right? Now when they have that, they can use that. So you see a lot of autistic individuals doing a lot of maths, a lot of physics, chemistry. Once they find that topic that they are interested in, they learn it and they do it very well. So in employment too, we could also employ individuals with autism for a particular, so you find the person's strength and employ the person for that strength. And yes, we would be a better society without having to look down and say, okay, because you cannot communicate but you can do maths, you are not worthy of being in the environment.
Okay, so let's look at the affordability,
Yes.
And access, to autism therapies,
Yes.
and the treatments,
Okay.
for these people with this disorder, so to speak.
Yeah.
How are they? How affordable for the average Nigerian family? And also, do we have enough trained therapists, that can actually, manage these children in schools and different places?
Okay, thank you for that beautiful question. So the thing is, affordability when it comes to therapy is dependent on the child's specific needs. Now therapy is not treatment. Therapy is finding solutions to the child's own unique needs. Right? So one person might need a bit of intensity for therapy, another person might need just few hours or few intensity when it comes to therapy. So, but when it comes to affordability, the truth is therapy is still not affordable to the average Nigerian because of the way the economy is, and then also the awareness too. Then when it comes to the other question, what was the question? Sorry.
Yeah, we barely have trained
therapists. Yes,
and
yes.
centers available for access.
Yes, there are many centers. A lot are growing and upcoming, and there are a lot of therapy trainings. There are lots of boards that are certifying individuals. Like I am certified by the QABA board, that's qualified Applied Behavior Analysis Board, right? So there are other bodies that are certifying individuals who would want to gain this knowledge and also work with children. So yes, maybe probably right now in Nigeria we might not have. We have the education. We have special education in universities. We have speech therapy in some universities, and then we have psychologists too who would work with children with autism, and then these certifications, and then so there are a lot of individuals are coming up every day. So there are a lot of bodies that work with children. Yes.
Okay, so for the sake of time, which we're almost behind, let's talk about for parents, that have a child, with this condition, and also for the society. What advice, suggestion do you have for them? And siblings may not also know how to relate with people like this too.
Yeah.
Let's use this as a parting shot, and any other Any other thoughts you feel you should share with us regarding this? Let's use this as a pattern shot.
Okay, so first thing first, autism is not a disease. Okay. Secondly, parents can find intervention wherever they are to help their children meet the needs that they have deficit in. Then the community can also be aware and help these individuals to fit in properly. We also have siblings. To your sibling is just processing information differently, so you can also love your sibling and make them feel like they are part of the society. And then whatever happens, when autism is a beautiful experience. If you are on the spectrum, you are loved, you are appreciated, and you are part of being in our society. So I think we could go home with that. And then also know that there are lots of interventions available for parents. They can always reach out, Google search for interventions in wherever you are, and then you'd see help somewhere, and somebody is willing to talk to you. So thank you very much.
Right, thank you so much. In case you just joined us, we've been looking at managing autism spectrum disorder, children in Nigeria, and we had the pleasure to have our guest as Christabel Ifokwe, who is the Executive Director, Soin Jeff Foundation. We didn't have the time to talk about your foundation. I'm so sorry about that.
No
Is it about autism as well?
Yes, it is. It's about autism. It's about, we have a sibling who is on the spectrum too, so we were very in love with the whole experience and all. And then we work with children in ENUGU with autism and other developmental disability. Yes, it did.
Interest in this
area. Did, and I can tell you for a fact that we wake up every morning with autism on our mind and how to find solutions. We do a lot of data analysis just to make sure that their needs are being met, and hopefully we are doing well for ourselves, and we are happy that we are impacting a lot of individuals.
Nice. So there you have it. So with Christabel and her foundation, it's been an amazing time to do this with you this morning. We have another conversation coming up shortly. Please do stay with us.
We are local.
The international community is observing
Why the meat market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Opposition parties are really, positioning themselves as real opponents, or shall I say alternative, or they're just, doing initial grab to remain relevant.
Yes, I think that the opposition parties are doing what they're supposed to do, because they've been identifying the loopholes in the present APC regime or APC administration, and they've been calling them out and offering alternative solutions. That is the work of the opposition. Then you also look at the political figures, the political heavyweights in these opposition political parties, people like Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and so on. Most times they respond to, or they react and respond to the policies of government, the inaction of government, When it comes to security of lives and property, I'm aware that it will be vocal over the ineptitude of government in tackling the issues of security, especially when it has to do with the with acts of terrorism like what we saw in Jos, in Plateau states, and a few other states where the president visited politically in quotes, and then departed almost immediately. Amongst that, apart from that, then the economy and the general well-being of Nigerians, then some political arrests. We've seen how El Rufai is being persecuted and prosecuted by the government. So most opposition figures, they've been vocal about some of these actions of government. So I think that they are doing what they are supposed to do.
Now, you mentioned Peter Obi. You know, I didn't really want to bring him in, at least not this soon. But since you mentioned, let's just go into it. Do you think he still has the chance? You know, do you see Nigerians still see him as the hope come 2027? Now, this is why I'm asking this question. Now, you know what you earlier mentioned, the voter apathy, especially the youths, with what happened 2023 general elections. You saw how the youth came out in their numbers and they were discouraged. And with the way things are happening now, it looks like many people will be withdrawn, or that's why we talked about the voter apathy. And he seemed to have more of online supporters. The youths that would have stood out for him will likely withdraw because of the way the situation of politics is now. Do you see people still coming out for him to vote for him 2027, or they just don't believe in the system because they feel corruption will take place and he still may not win, so people may not bother? Or what's your take?
I think it's even if there is a voter apathy, I still am of the opinion that the majority of the people are coming out to vote for, that they are coming out to vote for P2B. Because if you check the sentiments of the Nigerian youths, both offline and online, most of them still believe in the person of P2B. Then you look at the so-called City Boys movement, which was formed earlier on. Then an alternative was also formed, the Village Boys movement. If you look at the activities of both bodies, you will see that most people are not for the City Boys movement. The Village Boys movement represents the grassroots, and most of them are for P2B. And P2B rightly said that apart from a few places, a few states, that the City Boys movement has not really made any inroad. Then you come to the Southeast. Some people are from the Southeast that signed up with the City Boys movement, or that are championing the City Boys movement. They've become persona non grata in the Southeast, which shows that majority of the youths, not just in the Southeast, but beyond the Southeast, are not in support of what they are doing. In fact, some of them, the respect and reputation that they commanded previously has plummeted because of their involvement with the City Boys movement. So that is to tell you that lots of people are still in support of P2B. And then don't forget that there is the obedient movement. Recently, Abike Dabiri was attacking the obedient movement. It tells you that from the viciousness of the attack, the group is still very much alive, very much active, and very much influential for them to be talking about the group at this particular point in time.
Okay, so talking about the City Boys movement and the Village Boys movement, so to speak, let's look at the angle of Peter Obi, leaving the Labour Party for the ADC. How much sensitization have these movements, be it the obedient movement or the Village Boys, whatever, how much sensitization have they done to the grassroots? Because till now, some people still feel Peter Obi is in Labour Party because that was what they know him for.
That's erroneous.
Okay.
That's erroneous.
Okay.
Many people are aware that Peter Obi is already in the ANC. And let me tell you.
I'm talking about, I'm sorry you come to this. I'm talking about the grassroots, the villagers, those that are not so online, Like most people are
They
online.
know.
Okay.
They are. Well, I will tell you.
Okay, go
Just
on.
calm down.
I can hear you. Go on.
Calm down at the village level, because I'm in touch with the grassroots too.
Okay.
At the grassroots, immediately Peter Obi moved, even up to the ward level. Remember, he was at his ward to pick up his membership card, and he addressed the people.
Okay.
So immediately he moved to ADC. The news went round through the structures in place that he had already moved to the ADC, and most of the Labour Party structures that they had at the grassroots metamorphosed into ADC. Some of them resigned and joined the ADC immediately. So the grassroots structures are still intact.
Okay.
They are still intact. They are the people pushing, Peter Obi's agenda. And currently, with the situation of things, what the sentiments are is this: that irrespective of the political party Peter Obi joins, that that the person that they are looking at is Peter Obi, not even necessarily the political party. So anywhere Peter Obi goes to, that is where the people will go to. And any political platform he chooses to ride on, that political party becomes prominent just by association with Peter Obi. So this is the reality on ground.
Okay, so in as much as the conversation is not about Peter Obi, but I'm just pushed a bit for us to just have these parts of the conversation. The fears that many people are having now about ADC and Peter Obi as well is the actions that the party is experiencing right now. That's for the ADC. And also, mind you, a couple of states in Nigeria, are being governed by the APC. Different defections you hear every now and then, people leaving one party to join the APC. And you know what it means when the governor of a state is in a particular party. It's almost always impossible for that party not to win in that state. Now, how can these fears, or shall I say concerns, be addressed so it doesn't affect the vision of Peter Obi come 2027?
It's not always true, because if we follow the trajectory of the 2023 election, a Labour Party, even though they didn't have all the requisite structures in place in all the states, they were able to win substantially. Even Lagos State that has structures, Labour Party was able to make way, even in the FCT. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? See, we've gotten to a level where people don't necessarily look at the governors, and people are focused on the candidates and what the candidate is ready to bring on the table. What they are looking at is competence. Because we've tried political parties previously and they failed us. So the the movement from one political party to another is really of no consequence. We saw in Anambra State during the era of Governor Chinwoke Mbadinuju of blessed memory, he did not govern the state well, and PDP gave him a red card. He moved to AD back then. After moving to AD with his structures, he lost woefully, and PDP, another political party, took over the state. So the power of incumbency doesn't always work. It all depends on the competence of the person in power,
Okay.
So that's what I want to stress on.
Okay, that's well noted. Good. Okay, let's agree, or let's assume that all other political parties, opponents, they're doing due diligence to make sure that they are not found wanting and everything works out well for them come 2027 elections. Can we say that the electoral umpire are independent? Can we really trust them? These are questions Nigerians are asking. Looking at the pressure from political, from the political hands, the high stake, do you think the electoral umpire is independent to handle the election come 2027? Are they strong enough to withstand political pressure?
For me, I know you are trying to pull out words from my mouth. You already know my response, but I will still go ahead and say it. The electoral umpire has been involved in how do I put it? I'm looking for the right adjective to qualify the kind of controversy he has found himself into. You know, he's been accused of being involved with the APC, even with his former tweets and so on. So he's been aligned from day one with the APC. We saw the controversy, the tweets, the phone numbers, how he was exposed, and so on and so forth. The digital footprints, even though INEC have been trying to deny it and so on. For me, there is no way INEC will conduct a free, fair, and credible election. The honorable thing for the INEC chairman to do at this point is for him to tender his resignation letter, because Nigerians have lost confidence in his leadership. I mean, the controversy is over. The evidence out there is overwhelming. There is no amount of denial that will convince Nigerians that he has not compromised. So that's my take on INEC. If they should be allowed to contest, to organize this forthcoming election, definitely the ruling party will have a landslide victory.
Okay, so
that's what I think.
All right, thank you. Let's take a look at the security agencies. You know how this thing. There's a saying that. Okay, let me not go there. Do you see them being neutral? Because if they're getting their funds, their payments from their boss, so to speak, the government, which is not supposed to be so, right? You said? Can you hear me?
Just a moment, please.
Okay. All right, in case you just joined us,
Hello.
This is a new day where we take a look at stories of making the round on the national dailies. All right, we still have our guest with us, Namdi. Thank you for being with us still. I was asking the security agencies, they are supposed to be neutral. Of course, that's how it should be. Do you also see them being neutral because of speculations that, they may want to work in line, with the power that be? Can they be trusted to do what is needed?
For me, we can't really put all our trust in them. And that's the reason why we have party agents. Party agents are the ones vested with the responsibility of ensuring that they report all that happened during the election in every polling station. We've seen situations where the law enforcement agents acted as accessories to political parties, especially the ruling political party. Remember, it has been said that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So in a situation where the federal government pays the law enforcement agents, they will always dance according to the tune of the federal government. Else they will face the consequences after the election. Yes. So for me, political parties need to ensure that their party agents are strong and that their presence is registered in most polling stations. Remember what happened during the era of President Goodluck Jonathan? How Orubebe, the famous Orubebe, raised an alarm, So these are the kind of people that we need to monitor the votes in various political parties to ensure that the process is not compromised.
Okay, still looking at 2027, how would you say the realities of the economic situation, the likes of inflation of food items, the fuel prices, and a couple of things Nigerians are facing are insecurity, power, outages we experience here and there. How do you see these realities influence the decision of the voters come to
Let
the
me tell you
27th?
the truth. Let me tell you the truth.
Okay.
APC should never return to power. Never.
Why?
Because they did not deliver on any of their promises. Anyway, well, some of the promises that President Tinubu made, which seems to suggest that Nigerians are going to suffer, I think he made do of those promises. Imagine, okay, what is the exchange rate today? Look at the brazen way the subsidy was removed. Even if subsidy is going to be removed, it should have been a gradual process. And there ought to have been several considerations. A president should be able to evaluate things for himself and take a decision. You don't always resort to the Bretton Woods institution like World Bank and IMF before you take a decision. Of course, they'll tell you that you are doing well, but your citizens are wallowing in poverty and in penury. The cost of food has been expensive in the past 3 years. Now that the election is around the corner, I don't know the political magic they did for the price of rice to come down. People now have the impression, things are coming down. But it's all a political ploy. Once they contest the election and win and return to power, inflation will hit the sky again.
Are you saying some of the food items that have come down now, they are politically motivated for the elections?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Emphatically, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But you don't have any proof of that. We want to believe that how the market happens here and there. But that's your opinion, though.
Let me give you an instance.
Okay.
Last week, it or this week, it was announced that the tariff on imported vehicles has been reduced drastically. I think from 70 something percent to 40 something percent. Which means that the price of Tokumbo vehicles will drop significantly. That's the power of government policy. The question is, why didn't they allow it to continue the way it was before they came into power? Immediately they came in, they raised the price of everything, and that's why we're experiencing inflation. Toyota Corolla that was at 1.8 million before now sells for 8 million. It's the power of policy. The moment he came in and changed most of these policies, the inflation went up. You remember he talked about his friend that had an exotic vehicle, that he saw him ride an exotic vehicle at the advent of his administration, but after the removal of subsidy, he noticed that the guy now uses one fuel economy vehicle. And when he tried to inquire why, the guy told him it's all about the economy. So Tinubu used that to drive home the point that many Nigerians are cutting their clothes according to the site, which is absolute nonsense. It's policy. They know what they are doing. They are manipulating the market forces. That's what they are doing. The price of petrol can still come down if the government decides to introduce some level of subsidy to make things, better for Nigerians.
All right. Now let's look at the, social. Are you there? Can you hear me? Nnamdi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. The cost of transportation is high. The cost of transportation is high because of the removal of subsidy, cost of engine oil, and several other things. I don't want to go into that, but it's glaring for everybody to see.
All right. Let's check this other one out. Our social, social societies, the media as well, social media, are they strong enough to hold these people in power accountable? Looking at the fact that they seem to do things and go away with it most times, it seems almost no one is held accountable. These platforms, these entities, talking about these entities, are they strong enough to hold these people accountable?
Please, can you repeat the question? I didn't get the beginning part. The call was coming in.
Okay, I mean civil societies, social media, and of course the media firms, the media, are they strong enough to hold people in power accountable? Looking at the way these people do things and go away with it without being really, being held accountable. Are they strong enough to hold these people accountable?
The members of the civil society group, I think they are disillusioned. Mm-hmm. Lots of them, they've lost steam, and nobody's willing or ready to fight the government or to be combative about the general situation of things. Because I remember during Jonathan's time, after Jota, I was in Lagos as at then, I saw what happened then. Different civil society groups, including musicians, everybody came out to, on a procession to Ojota. They spent about a week plus there, raising awareness. International media was there, local media was there. They were condemning the government about its intention to remove subsidy and so on. It became an international affair, and that forced the administration as at then to stay action on the policies it wanted to implement, and several other interventions that the civil society groups have made. But this time around, most civil society groups are laid back. We're just hearing few voices, maybe people like Femi Falana coming out to speak against the government, and just a handful of others. But when it comes to galvanizing serious support to fight for the interest of the masses, we've not seen that really happening. And I think that most of them are tired. Remember back then, even Pastor Adeboye, Wole Soyinka, Pastor Tunde Bakare, several of them came out to speak again. Even Kuti, Femi Kuti, they all came out to fight the subsidy. Amongst other societal issues, we had Bully TV that was online to attack the policies of government. People were more vocal. But this time around, people